Hello everybody, welcome to Illustrator Jones once again. Yes, it's I've already made a boo-boo. Hit the microphone. Oh. Yes, it's another Scribble Sketch episode. So, yes, it's I'm drawing the scribble and I'm leaving it in real time so that you can see the scribble and then you can see what I create out of it. And I've gone for this kind of snake kind of idea, which is pretty much what I stuck with, to be honest. But I needed it to turn it into something more interesting than just a snake. You know, snake is like, ugh. So when I was at school, I went to a school called Gwendryth in in Carmarthenshire. It was the secondary school, as we used to call it. I don't know what it's called now. I've no idea what schools are called now. I don't know, because they don't even do maths the same way anymore. So yeah, Gwendryth was the school I used to go to when I was about 13, and we had an English teacher there called Mrs Scutt, as in SCUTT, and as her name implies, she was an absolute dragon. She was horrible to the kids, you know. Saying that though, you know, I'm remembering this from a kid's point of view. The poor woman was probably run senseless by us lot, you know, idiots, having to put up with kids every single day. I just don't know how they did it, to be honest. Anyway, Mrs Scutt was my English teacher, and she wasn't very pleasant to look at as well as to listen to. You know, had a voice like a chainsaw hitting steel. And when I started drawing this, for some reason, that poor lady came to mind. And I thought, I'm going to turn it into a monster, Mrs Scutt. And I'm going to have Seamus Gumshoe discover that, yes, you were right all along. Mrs Scutt was a monster. So that's where I've gone with this story, and you'll just have to wait and see now, see what happens. Well, you've probably seen it on a bit of the thumbnail, haven't you? On the what's it called? Anyway, so I've gone for a bit of a different look on the videos. I've gone for a little bit of a surround around the outside, if you noticed, and a little picture of me in the corner, milling away on the drawing board. So there's kind of 3 shots of me. I think 3 shots too many, a lot of you will be saying. No, we don't want any more shots of your ugly mug, you miserable old swine. But yeah, I'm just trying to make it look interesting, trying to show you. Sometimes you'll see me like this, you know, and it looks like I'm bored out of my skull. Drawing, but I'm not, I'm concentrating. I'm just trying to hold my brain together, you know. Tries to escape, but what little brain I have, it's trying to get out, and it's trying to leave the vicinity, and I'm not letting it. I'm fighting it. I'm trying to keep it under control. The negativity and the constant torment that it puts me through. Anyway, so here, this is the idea now. So I got this big snake. He's grabbed all the Seamus Gumshoe around the middle. Now that'll change later a little bit, you'll see why. I'll explain to you why later. But yes, Mrs Scutt, what a funny name, eh? You know, I thought Jones was bad enough, but Scutt, it just sounds like a swear word, doesn't it? What the Scutt? Anyway, so I took a lot of artistic license whilst drawing this massive monster lady English teacher. I gave her arms. Now, snakes don't have arms. Lizards have arms, but snakes don't. But you can do what you like on these drawings, can't you? Whatever you like. You do whatever you like. If it's put arms on your snake, you put arms on your snake. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? So yes. So there's one slight difference between Mrs Scutt and this monster snake. the monster snake is a lot more well endowed in the chest region. Mrs Scutt wasn't. She was a skinny thing. She was the teachers in that school were vile. Well, and I say that with the utmost respect. All teachers, I think, are frustrated bullies, and they go to school so that they can pick on people finally, because they were picked on at school. That's what I think, and I just think they're a bunch of bullies. All of them. There may be one or two exceptions, but the vast majority of them are a bunch of bullies, and they are mean. I have no time for them. I didn't back then, and I still haven't now. It's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? But I had a very, very bad experience at school. It was awful. So, yeah, so I gave her some glasses, you know, hands on the hips. Well, no, I didn't give her hands on the hips, did I? I was going to, but I didn't. Now, originally, if you notice just down there, I was going to draw a garden, and as if, Seamus has stumbled upon this monster in a forest, but I changed my mind. I had the idea, because Mrs Scutt was a English teacher, they all used to go into this mysterious place called the Teacher's Lounge, and I used to call it the Monster's Lair, because you did not want to go anywhere near there, because those vile people were all sitting there, you know, smoking their heads off and slowly getting drunk, which you think is an exaggeration. My maths teacher, we used to call him Die Fags. He used to come in, everybody sit down, be quiet, don't say a word, shut up, do whatever you want. And he used to sit there all lesson, and he wouldn't teach us a thing. I loved it because I could just sit there and draw. This is what I used to do. It was great. Thought it was great. It was really. And he was half cut. So yeah, you sit there. Sit down. Don't do anything to annoy me. You know, the bloke was half cut. It was terrible. You know, my dad, don't they teach you anything in that school? No, they don't. Very little. You had one or two teachers which were good, you know, that were there, conscientious about what they did. We used to have another one with the geography teacher called, I can't remember his name, but we all used to call him Slug. And he used to throw the in those days they had blackboards with a chalk duster on it. He used to chuck them at kids and they'd bounce off their heads, and the kids, you know, big bruises on their heads. If you did that now, he'd be in prison. So I did this is what I'm trying to get. I did the teacher's lounge, and I got trophies on the wall of youngsters' heads, and in a jar of formaldehyde, you know, somebody's head, arms hanging out the drawer, you know, and a hand sandwich. I have to draw a hand sandwich, you know. And that's where I've gone. Basically, all teachers are monsters and bullies. And Seamus Gumshoe has stumbled upon this, and he's been caught out by the monster English teacher Scutt, Mrs Scutt. And that's what I've done. So I really enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it. It's all this. I had no idea I was going to draw this at all. Not an idea. Until I did that scribble. I put a few eyes on it. And then I carried on drawing. And then all of a sudden, a story developed in my mind. You see. And it began to grow and, you know, get bigger and bigger. And then this came from it. So when you do scribble sketching, it's not just coming up with a cool drawing, it's also coming up with I was going to say narrative, but what I mean is a story that goes along with it, you see. And that's the story that goes along with this picture. He's discovered that Mrs Scutt is a monster, Now then, if you notice the size of the heads on the wall, they're meant to be children. And the size of Mrs Scutt, who was a little small earlier. He was a bit too small, so I had to rub him out and make him a bit bigger. It's inking time. So I'm happy with the drawing in pencil, and now I just go in with my Pentel brush pen and do all the inking. Yeah, I do most of it with this. And yeah, there's a hand sandwich with a little bone sticking out, so I think it's just funny. I don't mean to be gross. I do mean to be gross, actually, but I keep it to a certain level, you know. So, comments in the comments? Say what you think of the surround thing. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's distracting? Do you think, no, Chris, what were you thinking? Don't do this ever again. Please let me know. By the way, in the last few days, we've had 3 more subscribers, so I'm looking at it going, what's going on? So I'll probably say that now, and I'll go back to my phone tonight and they'll all be gone. Because that has happened several times to me. So yeah, but I'm very grateful for you subscribing, thank you. I will try as long as I can, as long as people want to see this these drawings. I'll keep it going, and hopefully one day, you know, we'll get to a point where there's a lot of people watching. I haven't done any live ones recently because they didn't do very well, but you know, I might do one. They were quite good fun to do. But yeah, to be honest, it's more the enjoyment of drawing for me, doing these, and knowing somebody's, you know, watching them and having a laugh. Because otherwise they'd just be sitting there in me drawer, which is what they're doing now, you know, and nobody sees them. So it's nice for me to draw them and then know somebody's going to have a look at them. But yes, so how is everybody? I hope you're all well, safe, and having a good draw, and enjoying, you know, having a go at drawing. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. But yeah, so it's gone very cold. It's October, and the temperature has plummeted somewhat, especially in the night time. It's going wee chilly. Aye, it's going a wee bit chilly. You can feel it in the night. Oh, I do beg your pardon. That blueberry muffin's come back to haunt me. Oh dear. That had legs on it, that one did. I'm sorry about that. I do apologise for my grotesqueness. I had a can of Coke with lunch, and I stood up and I burped, and I swear it went on for about 10 seconds. Honestly, it was so long. You know, you burp normally, it was like that. Bah. This one went on forever. So much so my son was in the other room falling about laughing, wondering when I was going to stop. It was like, bah. Just went on and on and on. Hey, I don't know why I'm telling you that. I should be ashamed. But I'm not. My wife keeps saying, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I say, well, and yet I'm not. Yeah, somebody turned up earlier on today with post. Do you know what? I could have sworn it was my brother, and it wasn't. Got your wedding goes and going, hello. No, you're not my brother. He was falling about laughing. Well, he wasn't falling about laughing. He thought it was very, very cool that my son's name is Harry Indiana Jones. And he thought it was great. He thought it was wonderful that he was called that. I do wonder, though, if this is why my son doesn't want to get married. Because when they do their name thing... I, Harry Indiana Jones, do take thee... blah, 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 blah. Anyway. Yeah, so... I wasn't very good with this one, with the shading. I was a bit tentative with this. I'm always a bit tentative with the shading. So what I do is, if I'm a bit worried about it, I kind of build it up with some cross-hatching and then add more cross-hatching. And then by the end of the actual inking part, I'll add some black ink with my Pentel brush pen again, just, you know, to enhance it all if it needs it, which in my mind it does half the time, well, most of the time, to be honest. But instead of going straight in with a big thick black pen, because I'm a wee bit of a coward, I do it. I gradually work my way up to it, so you'll see the arms and the tail behind progressively getting darker and darker and darker. Yeah. So drawing the tentacle behind him now that has gripped him with its vice-like grip, crushing the life out of him so that he can't tell anybody about what's going on in Gwendraith School in South Wales, that the teachers are all monsters and they're eating the children. See, that is, you know, they're having a feast. Boiled child. You know, kiddie kebabs. Kiddie kebabs. Wee laddie on toast. Anyway, I better stop there before I say something I'll regret. Yeah, I enjoyed this drawing. It was alright. It was okay. Now, the reason why I got the little picture of me in the corner smaller is because you really don't want to see me close up. Put you off your tea. And on that side, I'm doing the what do you call it? The mixing of the paint. And you were going to miss that, so... In fact, I've just realised I'm watching this and I haven't put the logo in above that, so... I don't know whether it's going to be too much on the screen if I do that, you see. Is it crowding it out? Should it be a lot You let me know if you think it should be a little bit more simple, maybe? I don't know. So, yeah, these kids on the back, I just give them these hollow eyes. There was a certain film where the creature... What did he used to do? I can't remember now. And he used to get the people's faces like that at the end of it, you know. I can't remember what it was called now. Yeah, so just drawing the background in now with the dark, adding all the bits and pieces. And then I drew a fish tank behind with a skull in the bottom, you know, and little bones and things, and it's like a big piranha. Because I always thought it was really not cool. I used to scare me a bit in the James Bond films, you know, when a fellow was crossing a bridge and there was this pool thing below him and it would fall through and he'd get eaten by piranhas, you know. I remember watching a program about that, where these people were in a bus and it crashed and it went into a river. Obviously in South America where piranhas are? I think it is, isn't it? I think so. And of course people were injured and the piranhas went in and ate a lot of them, and all they found was skeletons inside. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Is it Jeremy Wade? He does the River Monster series. I love that. I love the River Monster series. Adding some colour now. So I went over with a wash of green with a big brush and then dried it with the air dryer quickly. Yeah, so I thought what I'll do now is that's the highlights. Or no, I'll add white for highlights. Here we go. So I got some white ink. Although it does fade quite quickly, it didn't stay as vibrant as I wanted it to, but it did lighten some of it up. And then I will use the green colour on, you know, that I've created using, I think it's just processed yellow and emerald green. Now I found that those two mixed together, or you can use lemon yellow if you want, but I think the processed yellow is better. You get this lovely bright acidy green colour, which I really like. So I made a bit darker version of that, so I'm using that as shadows now, as you can see. Now I do add colour later. Don't know whether it was the right thing to do. I think it is. I could have left it all green, but I didn't want to. I wanted to add some colour, so I'd add very light washes later on. But yeah, this is acting as all the shadows now. The Shadow Knows. Great film with Alec Baldwin. And the tell you who else is in that. What's his name? He's had a stroke, which is really it's horrible to see. He's once vibrant people, you know, full of life. Tim Curry, you know, he was in that, and he played this nutcase in it. And yeah, poor fella's had a stroke. It's such a shame. Life can be so cruel. As one book said, one ancient book said, that the unforeseen occurrences can befall us all. So we don't know, do we? So best to make the best of it. That's all you can do. Yeah. Yeah, so I did a little bit darker now, so I've added a little bit more, what's it called? Emerald green, just to darken it up a bit. Ooh, what happened there? That was a bit sudden. Now then, yeah, I want to make that light up there as bright as I can, so that it looks like that's where the source is coming from. But yeah. Adding all the little white highlights now again. But it does have a tendency to disappear, this paint. It kind of, I don't know, it doesn't sit on the surface quite enough. It's good enough to lighten things up though. It does work. But I use the Poscolator, which is made from acrylic. This is a water-based. This is more like gouache than acrylic. So you have to put multiple layers on to make it stand out more. So later on I will go around with the acrylic Posca pen and add some more highlights. And then even more so if I need to in the computer itself. I used to do all my colouring in on the computer, you know, very, very rarely did any of this hand-painted stuff, and now all I do is hand-painted stuff. A little bit of tweaking on the computer. It's much more enjoyable, and you get a nicer, more natural finish. That's what I think. You may not. There's some fantastic artists out there who use the computer. It's fine. It's just another tool, isn't it? I just like I just enjoy more doing this kind of stuff. So yeah, so drawing the hands, painting the hand sandwich. So I'm just doing very, very light colours, washes. Dry it first though, whatever you do. Don't go over already wet paint and paper. I use the hairdryer to do that. Now the question is, where am I going to put my voiceover when I do this drawing later? How am I going to do that, eh? How am I going to do that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's interesting to see the colouring in on the left hand side. You know, the mixing of the ink, mixing of the paint. Oh yeah. So I didn't know what I wanted to make her flesh coloured to a certain degree because she's meant to be a teacher. So I did give her a little bit of a flesh colour, but her belly is yellow, and acidy yellow, so that she's sinister and evil. I'm sure that teacher, Mrs Scutt, wasn't evil. I'm sure the poor lady was just absolutely beside herself with boredom and anger for having to deal with kids every day. I don't know how they would do it. I really don't. So yeah, so adding some blue now for the white bits, the shirt and everything. And also for a little bit of shading in the darker spots. Places that needed a bit of shading. Best not go too mad though with the blue, because you can overpower it, because you've already done that with the green, you see, so it was being a little bit wary. Yeah, so I didn't know what to do a cardigan, so I did it like a purpley colour. I tried mixing my own purple, but ooh, it came out looking like mud. Horrible. And then I used Payne's Grey, I think it was, or... There's two types of black, you see. There's like make a grey colour. One's a bluey one and one's a more warmer one. Adding the Posca now. Yes, adding the Posca. I've just been fighting with my son's dog, Milo, under the chairs in our house because he keeps trying to get the ball out from underneath the couch, you know. And it sounds like he's digging for gold down there. So I have to get it under with a stick, you know. And he's got his head right here as I'm trying to get the balls out for him, you know. And oh, it's so funny, honestly. And then he gets a ball, and I got it in my hand, and he's trying to get it, and he's trying to pull it, you know. And you can all hear is like this. Now I'm playing with him. Oh dear. Been very naughty today, though. He's been very barky. I put a bit of drool on her tongue. I've been buying lots of Blu-ray movies recently. I bought all the Matrix movies and the King Kong and Godzilla films in Blu-ray, you know. Which, they look fantastic. I said to my wife, oh, wait a minute, I'll tell you in a second what I was going to say, but for now, you know what time it is.
Computer, hello computer.
Hello computer, computer, hello. It's computer time. Yeah, I said, can I have a 65-inch TV, please, for my anniversary present? And after she stopped laughing, I thought, does that mean I am going to get one? And then a couple of weeks later, she goes, I'm not buying you a 65-inch television. About £480 it was. What I want you to do, she says, is go in your office and sell some toys. And I went, okay. So I'm not getting it for my anniversary then? No, she says. So I sold a load of toys and action figures and things, and within a week I had the money together and I had a new 65-inch telly. See, when I'm adding the blue onto there, that's the computer. You see, that's what the computer can do for you. Make a lovely, you know, on the glasses as well, feeling of glass, that you're looking through glass. Yeah, that's difficult to do otherwise. Just adding some little bits of detail. Yes, so I've hooked up a Blu-ray player to it and bought a second-hand soundbar for it. I've been watching movies, you know, like X the Unknown and Quatermass and the Pit. Godzilla movies. Got it like a little cinema. It's my daughter's house. She moved out, so I made her bedroom into a little cinema. Yeah, I'm going to add in the speech bubble now. I can't remember what I told him to say. What did I tell him to say? Mrs Scutt, I always knew you were a monster. It's true. She was an absolute monster. Yeah. So there's the final results, everybody. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe, leave a like, and I will see you next time. Ta-ra! Ta-ra!
Oi, yeah, oi! Sir, you didn't let me say anything in this video. Oh, you meanie. I don't like you anymore. Honestly, what's going on? You don't want me in these videos? I sit there. I'm going home. I don't like you no more. You absolute stinker.